What it was like to be a working-class family in 1950s Britain. Step inside a modest red brick home and you'll find the heartbeat of 1950s Britain. A kettle hissing on the stove, children's laughter echoing down narrow streets, and the comforting glow of a coal fire. The war was over, but the rebuilding had just begun. For millions of working-class families, every penny counted, every meal mattered, and every neighbor felt like kin. Yet, beneath the soot and sacrifice, there was pride and hope. This is what it was like to be a working-class family in 1950s Britain. Rebuilding a nation from the ground up. When the 1950s began, Britain was still scarred by war. Bomb sites dotted city centers, and ration books were as common as teapots. But out of those ashes came an incredible spirit of resilience. Across post-war Britain, men returned from the forces to find jobs in shipyards, mines, and factories. Women, many of whom had proved themselves in wartime industries, resumed domestic life, but carried with them a new sense of purpose and independence. The government's housing drive reshaped skylines. By 1955, over 1 million council houses had risen from the rubble, each one representing dignity for families who'd once shared outside toilets and tin baths, a front garden, an indoor loo, and a bit of green space felt like pure luxury to the British working class. In these new communities, pride was measured not by wealth, but by the polish on your doorstep, the shine on your windows, and the warmth you offered your neighbors. Life at home, coal fires and kitchen tables. At the center of working-class life in 1950s, Britain was the home. Simple, sturdy, and full of love. The kitchen was its heart. Families gathered around wooden tables for everything from steaming cups of tea to heartwarming stews that stretched to feed 6 mouths. Food rationing didn't end until 1954, so creativity ruled the day. Housewives turned a single joint of meat into 3 dinners. Leftovers became pies. Stale bread became puddings. Every crumb counted, and no drop of milk went to waste. The fire crackled in the hearth, drying clothes on a rack suspended from the ceiling. Children played by the flickering glow while the wireless hummed The Archers or the BBC Light program. Though there was little space and less money, there was comfort in familiarity, the kind that modern Britain often forgets. The mother, heart and backbone of the family. To understand 1950s British working-class life, you have to picture the mother. Apron tied, hair set, hands never still. She was the homemaker, nurse, cook, and financial manager rolled into one. Washing was done by hand or in an early twin tub if the family was lucky enough to afford one. Clothes were scrubbed, wrung out, and hung on lines across tiny gardens or strung between lampposts. Mondays were wash days, an unspoken national ritual. Shopping meant visiting multiple shops, the butcher, the baker, and the greengrocer. Plastic packaging didn't exist, and credit cards were unheard of. Cash was king, and budgeting was a daily art form. Yet, despite the endless labor, there was quiet pride in keeping a spotless home. Magazines like Woman's Own and Good Housekeeping, filled with cleaning tips and recipes, gave working-class women a sense of belonging to something greater, a shared sisterhood of survival. The father, pride in hard work. Working-class men of the 1950s were the country's engine. They built, mined, welded, and repaired the very bones of post-war Britain. A typical day began before sunrise and ended after dark. The clatter of factory gates, the rumble of trams, and the clang of steel defined their world. Wages were modest, an average of 8 to 10 pounds a week, but steady work was a badge of honor. Many walked to work carrying sandwiches wrapped in greaseproof paper and a flask of tea. The pub was a cherished escape, not for indulgence, but for camaraderie. Evenings often meant fixing something, a bike, a kettle, or the garden fence. Fathers of 1950s Britain rarely spoke of hardship. They simply got on with it, teaching by example that strength meant showing up, not showing off. Children of the 1950s, freedom and imagination. For children, life in 1950s Britain was simple, unhurried, and full of adventure. Streets were their playgrounds. They played conkers, hopscotch, and marbles until the streetlights flickered on, the universal signal to head home. Pocket money was meager, but a few pennies could buy a handful of toffees or a matinee ticket at the local cinema. Comics like the Beano and Eagle fired imaginations. For many, school ended at 15, with apprenticeships or shop work waiting. Television slowly crept into homes. In 1953, Queen Elizabeth II's coronation drew millions to neighbors' living rooms to watch the broadcast in black and white. By the end of the decade, over 70% of homes had a TV, a marvel that brought the world into the front parlor. There were no smartphones or consoles, yet children of the 1950s Britain recall a childhood rich in freedom, creativity, and connection. Entertainment, fashion, and escaping the everyday. Leisure was precious. After a week of labor, Saturday night meant music, laughter, and a touch of glamour. Dance halls, working men's clubs, and cinemas were packed. Couples waltzed under twinkling lights, and the young discovered American rock and roll. At home, the wireless was everyone's companion. Popular radio shows like The Goon Show and Listen, with Mother, filled rooms with laughter and warmth. When television arrived, it quickly became a family gathering point, from the news to Dixon of Doc Green. Fashion told its own story. Clothes were often homemade or mended. Mothers stitched dresses from magazine patterns, while men wore solid work trousers and Sunday suits. Teenagers created their own rebellion. The Teddy Boys, with slick hair and long draped jackets, turned working-class streets into catwalks of defiance. It was the first glimpse of youth culture in post-war Britain, a spark that would ignite the cultural revolutions to come. Community, holidays, and the joy of togetherness. Community spirit defined working-class Britain in the 1950s. Doors were left unlocked, neighbors borrowed sugar freely, and nobody was truly alone. The street itself was an extended family. When someone fell ill, others brought food or helped with washing. Street parties for the 1953 coronation were legendary. Rows of trestle tables lined the pavements, and every household contributed. Jelly, sponge cake, and endless cups of tea. Those moments stitched the nation together, reminding everyone that togetherness was their greatest wealth. Even holidays reflected that spirit. A week at the seaside, in Blackpool, Skegness, or Margate, was the highlight of the year. Packed trains, crowded boarding houses, donkey rides, and fish and chips on the promenade. Simple pleasures that felt extraordinary. These breaks weren't about luxury, they were about escape, laughter, and fresh air. For working-class families, those moments by the sea were pure happiness. A new era of hope. NHS, education, and the future. The late 1940s had brought the National Health Service, and by the 1950s, it was changing lives. For the first time, ordinary Britons could see a doctor, get medicine, or deliver a baby without worrying about the cost. Health improved, and infant mortality fell sharply. Education also became a doorway to opportunity. The Education Act of 1944, which had introduced free secondary schooling, began to bear fruit. More working-class children stayed in school, sat exams, and looked beyond the factories and mines their parents had known. Television, cars, and consumer goods symbolized a new prosperity. Fridges, vacuum cleaners, and electric cookers became attainable dreams. Families began saving for the future rather than merely surviving the present. As the decade drew to a close, Britain was transforming, slowly shedding the austerity of the post-war years and stepping into modernity. But the core values of 1950s working-class life, thrift, loyalty, and resilience, remained unshaken. What it was like to be a working-class family in 1950s, Britain can be summed up in 3 words: resilience, pride, and warmth. They built homes from rubble, meals from scraps, and communities from kindness. Their everyday courage shaped post-war Britain and left a legacy that still defines the nation's heart. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.